So most welcome everyone to our new webinar. Now agenda of this webinar is the new course which has been launched in InfoSec Train. Okay, so we are going to discuss about that course, the course overview, why the practical approach is very much essential when we are talking about an auditing or when we are talking about an implementation of an ISMS. Okay, so we are going to discuss that too. What are the implementation stages of an ISMS that we are going to learn? Okay, along with that, who should go for this training? Okay, and post to that we will be having a quick Q&A sessions too at the end of the session. So let's get started. Now the course which I had prepared, uh, generally what I have done, I have looked into the market. As per the market requirement, I have created a course. Okay, now this course ISO 27001:2022 lead implementer practical approach training is going to provide by InfoSec Train, and it's a dedicated hands-on. Okay, so we will be going with an implementation stages with step-by-step approach, how the ISMS is been maintained. Okay, now this course has been designed particularly for practical learning, giving you an guidance regarding to your ISO 27001 with a strong emphasis on real world applications. Okay, not only that, this training include multiple practical exercises as well. Okay, the exercise will be risk assessment, risk treatment, documentation, after that internal audit, how to do and risk assessment, what is the process of a risk assessment, or how to go with a risk treatment plan, what is the process of it, how to maintain a document of each and every assessment, or of each and every evidence collection, or not only that, of each and every implementation stages as well. And post to that, if the implementation has been done, after that we go with an internal audit. Okay, so we will be going starting with on step 0 to step 10. Each and every stages will be covered. Okay, not only that, this course covers vital aspects such as your understanding of an organization context. Now this is what your clause of an ISMS has been talking about. Inside an ISO 27001 we have a clause 4 which is talking about an understand the organization context. Okay, after that we have a next clause which is often leadership. Okay, then we have is your evaluation and performance. So we will be going with a clause by clause with and practical approach. Okay, so prioritizing your hands-on practice in this training, we are going to ensure that participant will not only grasp the theoretical framework of an ISO 27001 but also acquires the practical skill which has been necessary to successfully implement the management system inside an organization. Okay, now this approach prepares participant to work in your real-time world. Okay, what challenges we are facing into a real-time scenario, we are going to discuss that as well. We are going to do as per, for example, we will be thinking as an auditor and assuming I will be providing a scenario, and from an step 0 we will be starting to go with an implementation for that organization. Onto your screen, this is the course content which I had prepared. Okay, so first in introduction we are going to talk about specifically about you can say standard, your regulatory framework. Okay, what are the standards, what are regulatory framework in your ISO 27001. We are going to discuss about the ISMS as well, specifically information security management system. Then we are going to discuss about the security concepts and principle. Okay, and after that we will be going with a scope. Now scope is what we are going to understand the ISMS scope. Okay, how to define a scope if we are planning to do an implementation. Again, what need to be covered or what need to be discussed while defining a scope. Okay, then we go with a stage number 3, which is your normative references. Okay, now in this we are going to discuss about the relationship between ISO 27000 and 27001. Along with that, why this ISO 27001 is essential and what benefits is bringing to an organization. Not only that, we are going to talk about the 27001 implementation stages inside this. Okay, so we will be going with the basics first in an introduction, talking about your 27001, the the particularly your stages. Not only that, regulatory framework. Okay, understanding about an ISMS scope, understanding about the relationship between 27000 and 27001 series, what benefits we are getting with and 27001, what are the implementation stages. Okay, and then we will be starting with a stage number 4, which is your terms and definition. Okay, understanding that terminology which has been used inside and the standard. Okay, now from here the actual practical will begin. Okay, then we have is your stage number 5, which is your context of the organization. Now this is again a practical one, understanding the organization and its context. Clause number 4. Then we have clause number 5, which has been talking about your leadership. Okay, approval, project approval, all those things. Then is your planning stage, how to plan for risk management, how to plan for any particular risk assessment. Okay, then is your support, what support has been required from an auditing perspective, from an auditor perspective. Along with that, awareness of an information security and assigned responsibility has been given to inside your organization or not. That is also been discussed. Then we have is your ninth one. Okay, operation. Okay, over here we had planned for an assessment. Over here we are going to go with that assessment, risk assessment, risk statement, statement of applicability, create an SOA. Okay, post to that, go with a documentation. So we had planned for, let's suppose, to add a control, at least 50 controls inside an organization. So we are in an SOA, we are going to declare those 50 controls. Okay, which controls are being implemented. Not only that, if we are declaring rest of the other controls, 43 control, I don't want 43 control, declare those as well. Why this control is not needed? That is what your SOA has been talking about. So preparing an SOA is a part of it, of an operation. Then we will go with an stage number 10, which is your performance evaluation. Okay, once the implementation has been done, that need to be monitored as well. Okay, monitor, then your measure analysis as well, evaluation. Again, some part of an theory is there and some part of an practical is also been included with this. Okay, then we will go with an stage number 11, that is your improvement. Okay, now one more thing I had missed over here. Now in performance evaluation, there is one more part, internal audit process. Okay, how a internal audit is being conducted, we are going to look into that and we are going to conduct that as well. Okay, a scenario will be provided over there again, and we'll go with a step-by-step approach based onto the scenario to conduct an assessment. Okay, internal audit process, then the management review. After that, we'll go with an improvement. If there is any non-conformative is been declared, then how to treat that non-conformative. Okay, that is your continual improvement, is prepare a plan for it. Okay, then last we have is your stage number 12, which is talking about your reference, course objective, and the control objective and other controls. Okay, what reference you are going to take, what controls you had been implemented, or each and everything we are going to discuss. Okay, so this is just a small overview of an course content which I had prepared. Okay, in your ISO 27001 lead implementer practical approach. Okay, now why this practical approach is essential? Again, that is a question into your mind as well. Okay, why it is very much important when I'm talking about a practical approach. Okay, now when I say lead implementer, now lead implementer is essentially it is giving you multiple reasons as well, especially when I'm saying I'm a lead implementer. So organization will be thinking that I know about the ISMS. Along with that, I know about the standard 27000 standard. Okay, along with that, there are certain key reasons as well. Okay, when we go with an particular implementation, okay, or when we have that knowledge about an implementation, so organization has been thinking that you are expert in ISO 27001. Okay, with this course as well, you are getting all these benefits. Okay, what are the benefits? First thing, we understand about an ISO 27000 standard. Okay, we will get an in-depth knowledge, understanding of a standard. Okay, this includes your standard requirement, about your control, about your guidance for establishing and implementing the ISMS, how we implement the ISMS, how we go with a continual improvement of an ISMS. Okay, then is your effective ISMS implementation. So as a professional with ISO 27001 lead implementer, this training, I can equip with the skills and expertise, okay, which needs to go with a lead implementation of an ISMS within the organization. Now this involves your can say the translation of the requirement into the standard. Okay, then is your risk management capabilities. Okay, now with this training we can focus on risk management as well, this which is going to help all the individual to identify or access or you can say treat your information security risk. Now this is again a crucial for establishing a robust ISMS inside an organization. Then we have is your comprehensive understanding of and control. Now with this training we are going to focus on you can say on understanding about an information security control specified to ISO 27001. Okay, not only that, we will be getting a knowledge for selecting or implementing or monitoring the control and what are the mitigated identified risk as well for the organization. Along with that, aligning with business objectivity. Okay, so as a professional, I can lead the implementation. Okay, against, or you can say I can get an insight as well how I can align this information security inside an organization, how that particular ISMS is going to help the overall business if we add an implementation. Okay, because if we go if my organization got a certification, okay, so I am helping my organization to go in with an implementation phase. Along with that, that is going to help in the business as well. Okay, no, or for the organization and for as an individual as well. Okay, compliance with legal and regulatory requirement. Okay, so with this we can practice or emphasize certain compliance, legal and regulatory requirement related to information security too. Okay, so again this isn't crucial for organization to operate a specific legal and regulatory framework which has been governed to protect the information. So I will say the information because everything has been revolving around your CIA. So when I'm talking about an information, organization want to secure their information, then only for that reason only they are going with this implementation. That is the main reason behind to it. Okay, so make sure those information is been secured as per your ISMS standard. Okay, which is again going with the legal and regulatory framework which has been given by the state government or that particular local can say local bodies. Okay, so which is protecting your sensitive information. Not only that, efficient incident response and management. Okay, now with this training it includes your elements of internal audit. Okay, which can enable each one into a professional into a professional manner, that how to do access and evaluate the ISMS, okay, through an regular audit. Now this is also going to lead to an implemental part as well. If I am performing an internal audit, definitely I am helping the organization to go with an implemental go in a you can say evaluation and implemental stages. Okay, internal auditor auditing skill which I have discussed already. Then stakeholder communication and training. Okay, so with this we can if I am an implementer or an auditor, so yes, definitely we will be communicating with stakeholder. Okay, if there is particular, you can say, any critical aspect of an information security, so straight away we will be contacting with them. Okay, if any requirement has been needed, so we are going to train the staff member to related to that control or related to that particular specific can say category. Okay, continual improvement, again we are following the same thing, PDCA, planning, implementing, performing an assessment, gap assessment. Okay, this goes with an continual process. Okay, now there is one more thing, a major thing. Okay, inside this codes. Okay, so let's discuss that, a major key part. Okay, the major key part is your ISMS implementation stage. Okay, how the implementation has been working, how we go with an implementation. So we have 4 stages. Okay, first is your define and establish, implement and operate, monitor and review, maintain and improve. This is what organization has been following generally. Okay, now in this first stage, what we do, we initiate for ISMS. Okay, for ISMS implementation, once that has been initiated, then we understand the organization and its context. Okay, where this implementation of an ISMS is to be done, we are going to understand about the organization, what processes have been working, how many processes are there. Okay, based on to that I can do an implementation, isn't it? So after the understanding about an organization, we go with a scope, we define a scope where this need to be implemented. Okay, take the approval from your top management. Okay, understand about organization structure, analyze your existing system. Okay, check for the security policy, go with a risk assessment. After the risk assessment has been done, create an SOA, statement of applicability, that's which all controls needed for this organization, which control is not needed for the organization. The SOA has been created. Now everything has been done in your first stage. Okay, then after that, after the SOA has been created, statement of applicability is being created, we go with an implementation. Okay, implement and operate, implement those control. Okay, along with that, make and document as well, document the information management. Okay, select and design a specific control. Okay, implement those control, communicate with all the team members that or within the organization that this control has been implemented. Okay, awareness has been given, a training program has been provided to each and everyone. Okay, then your security management, cross verify all those things that has been done into your implementation and operate. So once the implementation has been done, then the operate it will get operated as well, those control. Okay, then is your third stage, which has been talking about monitor and review. Controls are been implemented, that too need to be monitored as well. How we do and monitoring, measuring, analysis and evaluation, by doing an internal audit, perform an gap assessment. Okay, internal audit and gap assessment has been done. Okay, what all findings are there from this audit? On to those findings, there will be an management review. Okay, so management review will be there. Post to that, we go with an maintain and improve. Add to the fourth stage. If there is any deviation, any non-conformative has been identified, treat that non-conformative. Okay, with that treatment, we are following with an continual improvement. Okay, so these are the 4 general stages which is been followed. Okay, first define where this implementation of an ISMS has been required. Okay, post to that, understand about the organization. Okay, then we go with a scope, we define a scope that we require an ISMS implementation in this particular process. take an approval from your top management. Okay, analyze all those existing systems. Okay, prepare the security policies for that process, conduct and risk assessment. Based onto that risk assessment, we identify the gaps and put and controls over there. Okay, once it has been decided, create a SOA, statement of applicability, which all control is been decided to place in, sorry, to put in that particular process. Decide which control is not been required, again that need to be that also need to be this published in your SOA too. Okay, once that has been done, we move to our second stage: implement and operate. Implement the control which has been decided, which has been given into a SOA. Okay, once the implementation has been done, share those information inside an organization with your top management that implementation has been done, this new controls have been added. Okay, let's say after the implementation, we are going to give you a small training as well. Okay, so top management will decide when the training and to training need to be given, because awareness training need to be provided to each and every employees. Okay, then only we can follow within this particular, can say, the with that control. Okay, we can follow the continual improvement as well. Okay, now once that has been done, then we go with a stage 3. Okay, which is your monitor and review. Okay, review, monitor and review the implemented control, how that has been done with the help of an internal audit or gap assessment. With that gap assessment, a report has been created. That report will be shared with your top management, and top management is going to review that report. Okay, if there is any problem, any non-conformative, then is your fourth stage: maintain and improve. Treat those non-conformative, and we are following with a continual improvement as well. So these are your initiation of an ISMS implementation stages. Okay, now a question arises over here. When I'm saying the implementation of an ISMS, okay, there are a lot more things as well. Okay, things as in there is a documentation part, there is an implementation of a control part, that which control, technical control organization has been setting up, and physical control. Now when we are declaring any control, make sure we are going to make sure that that this control has been documented as well. Okay, now what is the reason behind and documentation? Okay, so no one can challenge tomorrow. Okay, if anyone has been challenging tomorrow that what is been implemented, we can provide an evidence based on to that challenge. For example, tomorrow you have been saying, or you will be requesting for a certificate. Okay, so certificate, as in you have attended training, so I want a certificate. So infosec training has been asking, infosec train will be cross verifying whether with your ID have you joined the training program or not, or have you filled the feedback form or not. So based on to that, the certificate will be provided. So what they have done, they have done an audit, they have collected an evidence based on to it. Okay, same what does an auditor do? So as an auditor, we are going to ask for an evidence, we are going to collect an evidence, and based on to that evidence, we are going to share, or we are going to give the report. Okay, so that's the reason the documentation is a very essential part. Okay, so when the policies have been developed or procedures have been developed, create a comprehensive information security policies and procedures in a documented format. Okay, if the risk treatment has been risk treatment plan has been created, again that need to be documented as well. If any control has been implemented, those controls information is available inside your SO and inside your documents as well. Okay, now who should plan for this training? Okay, so here are a few pointers which I have made. Okay, so any person who has been coming from a background of an information security manager or information security, they can plan for this. Okay, any IT manager or any risk or compliance manager, any security consultant, if you are an auditor, definitely you also can go for this training program. If you are a quality manager or a security officer, yes, definitely you can plan for this. Thus there is a small prerequisites. Okay, the prerequisite is you should know about the fundamental, or you can say you should have an understanding about an ISO 27001. Okay, a basic terminology or basic things has been required, not in depth. I'm also not expecting a very in-depth knowledge. Okay, so no worries, we are going to cover that, but a basic things has been required, basic requirement of an ISO 27000 about an ISMS. Okay, because if you have that understanding, definitely it will be very much easy to understand about the terminologies. Okay, now with this, what we are going to learn, we are going to get an practical guidance based on your ISO 27001, which is emphasizing hands-on exercise on risk assessment, risk treatment, documentation, internal audit. Okay, it covers all the key aspects like organization context, which I said it's in class 4, leadership role. Okay, performance evaluation. Okay, so generally we are focusing on real world application which equips, okay, which gives some practical skills as well to implement and manage the ISMS. Okay, which is going to prepare, which is going to help you to prepare in multiple scenarios as related to your information security challenges. We will be, I will be providing multiple can say course this tra- reading materials as well with this. Okay, so not only that, when I say an implementation, it starts with a step 0 to a step 10.